here's what we get for mileage now with the 37s and 13.5s. We are doing 102. Speedometer's out a little bit, but my correction speed up there is correct. So 14, 13. So we lost about a couple liters per 100 kilometers. I'll take it. Hey everybody, Matt here, Hollywood's Garage. Finally got a video slash update on the Superduty. A lot of my followers came from the Superduty, so I finally got one for you. It took a while because I had to wait for parts and just to install it. I was also trying to finish my Ventura, which once I get a project started, it's hard just to stop halfway through and do another one. So especially something that's bigger than just like a 20-minute or 2-hour changeover. But thanks for tagging along. Thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing at any videos I had prior on the Superduty or any of my videos. Appreciate that. Thank you. But for let's just break the ice here. Ready? Boom. Truck got a little bit of a altitude change, so I ended up getting a rough country 6-inch lift for it. I was gonna go 8-inch, but it was an extra $1,000, so I was like, let's go 6-inch. We'll do that. Ended up getting a really good deal on it with the forged track bar and the dual stabilizer. Found it on I think Truck Parts Direct in Canada. The guy started his own little business there doing it. He was tired of having parts just, you know, you purchase it and then after you purchase it, they're like, oh, you have to wait through 2 to 4 weeks for it to come from the manufacturer. He only lists stuff that he has in stock. So I ended up purchasing it on a sale. And then when I went to check out, it actually went down lower in price, about $200 to $300 more. So he messaged me, let me know that, oh, I got someone coming. And we're back. Someone just came into the loop. Anyway, so he ended up messaging me right after and saying, oh, you hit our flash sales, the sale that I couldn't even post because it was below the manufacturer pricing. I'm like, sweet. You know, I thought it was kind of a gimmicky because I didn't, I've never heard of this company before. I just Googled the lift kit I wanted, which is 592.40 or 594.20. One of those two, 6-inch rough country. For the 1-ton 08 to 2010 diesel. So anyway, so it came about a week later, all of it at once, except for my rear lift part. My rear, well, half it came. The one box that came a day later was the add-a leaf, and then like your new bolts for your leaf pack, because you got to take your overload off, which is a 1-ton thing, not a 3/4 ton, and then cut obviously the old bolts can be rusted, right? So they send you new ones. You got to put a leaf pack in there, but only one leaf pack showed up. One must have slid out the box and they retaped it and sent it. So that's still coming in the mail. He's looking after it. He said it was in Edmonton, getting shipped to my house. So I couldn't wait. So it still came with a 3-inch block, I think, to raise the back 3 inches, or maybe even 4. But regardless, so I put the lift on, and then I ended up buying these TIS wheels here. These are TIS 544s, 22 by 14 with a 37 by 13.5 New Mutant Predator tire. Lots of tread left still on them. Got them used. The guy I bought them from had them on a Chevy, a newer Chevy. So he had the 8x180. He had adapters. He said these are 8x170. I'm like, perfect. That's what Ford is. Perfect. And I wanted 14 wides. I wanted more of a 24, but it is what it is. It's hard right now. I was trying to find new, honestly. I was going to buy new, but there's like nothing for sale. There was only Cali brand, and XF had a few. Not even the nice ones I like with the center floating cap, the new style. Yeah, pretty much just Cali and that. Oh, and GTs, the strikes, overdone. So that was a no-go. And I didn't want to wait another 2 more months for those wheels, all these wheels that I like to come in. And I didn't want to spend big money on forged wheels either. I think that's just silly for a truck that doesn't see off-road. That's my opinion. So anyway, so I put these on. Well, actually, after the lift was installed, we'll talk about the lift after because we're talking about the wheels. I go to figure out that they are actually 8x165, which is a old Chev and a Dodge bolt pattern. So guess what? Your boy had to get adapters. And I got 1.5 inches instead of 2-inch. These wheels on the back have spaces in between the lugs, so you can run like adapter and have like your 1/2 inch lug still poke through. Fine, you don't have to worry about cutting it. I didn't want to cut my factory lugs and stuff. So, But that was a fiasco. Amazon took 3 different orders to order 2 boxes, because it comes in a kit of 2 for the adapters, and they're black. Took 3 different times, so it took like over a week, because it was 2 days in between each order, to finally get 2 boxes of the adapters I need. They kept sending me like a 5-bolt spacer, and obviously that's not going to work, so someone mislabeled the boxes. They said they had 8 on stock. Ended up getting 2 boxes. Anyway, we finally got it. I have a whole video of this install, so I'll be posting that after this video, so just keep subscribe. Obviously, if you catch this and you want to see the lift install, it's almost like a 2-hour video. I did the lift, the dual stabilizer, and the force track bar. But anywho's, back and forth here. Let's go back to the lift. So the lift is a coil spring lift. You see a bit of a kind of a in it. Well, when I went to put the wheels on, your boy, even with kickbacks, rubbed, and it rubbed a lot, because I'm running 14 wides, like I said, with 1.5 inches out. So this baby is poking. So I ended up putting a 2-inch leveling kit on it. Didn't show the install on that. Everyone knows how to do a leveling kit. It's pretty straightforward. So now I'm running an 8-inch lift. Obviously, it's bowing like this because my caster is at negative. So I ended up getting Kelderman caster bushings. That's 2 degrees. So it should help tilt it a little bit more to the back, which will help with bump steer as well. Right now I have none. I just did 100 on the highway. It runs super smooth, even right now. But I don't want to get rid of that bow. It just doesn't look good. And honestly, it'll be better for it. So I had that coming. It was $100, no big deal. But I'll do a video installing those as well. So I got the 8-inch in the front. We still rub a little bit, as you see here, on full turn, but it's a lot better. If I didn't have the spacers or the adapters, I'd be fine, but I do. I didn't want to cut my wheel well up, so we're going to be stuck with the rubbing for a while. Let's go to the back here. So the back, I ended up making it work with the spacer it came with, or I guess the lift block. But you can see the U-bolts they send are pretty short. I think it wants you to get rid of, there's a plate below that right there, that plate, which is actually your overload would ride on that. But then I just didn't do it. I guess I could have, because you're gonna add your leaf pack in between 1 and 2 here, the one that they sand, to help with the lift, which I'm still waiting for that to come, and I'll still install that for the reason of, now this truck squats a little bit with an 8-inch in the front, and it's probably 2 or 3 inches lower in the back, as you can see. Not horrible, but I like a level look, or like a 1-inch rake up. So that went, the back was actually, because I take the airbags off, and that was a fiasco. Oh, that was fun. But oh yeah, so let's go to the front here. I'll show you the dual stabilizer. Ended up kind of painting the frame a little bit too while I was down here. Clean it up a little bit. Powder coating, if you know what I mean. So underneath here, there's my dual stabilizer. Everything's rough country. My force track bar, which you don't need if you run a proper 6-inch lift, because it comes with a drop pitman arm, which mine does. But when you add a leveling kit on top of that, the factory one wouldn't have worked. It would have brought my front end over to the side, to the driver's side, because you're lifting it but you're shortening it, the track bar. So luckily I did buy it. Ended up working for the leveling kit. I ended up doing my own alignment. I got it within 1/8 of an inch side to side. I'm still straightening out my steering wheel as far as making that straight by adjusting that. Your steering, I guess, bar, I don't know, but yeah, there's the force track bar there. Painted all that up. What else? Kickbacks I got locally. Don't mind all the screw holes in it. I had to change them up a few times, raise them up high as I could. Still rub, obviously. But I got them as square as I could. They are 14 wides, but with the spacer, you still got some poke. At least it covers most of it. So hopefully cops leave me alone. I doubt it. They're on a blitz right now, but guy locally made these. They're just aluminum. He used a bed liner on them. They're if he would have made them so this was like more out here, like 2 more inches, I could have centered it too. So that's my only pet peeve, is he copied Trigger mud flaps and did like the weird J. I wish he would have done more of a rectangle, like off of this bend, come straight up. But he didn't. I could probably custom get some made. They were like 1/4 of the price of Trigger, so I don't care. And they look good. And I'm helping a local guy out that does it on the side, so it is what it is. So yeah, this is where we're at. She's a big boy now. She cleaned up good with the powder coating. super happy with it. I think it looks good. I'm gonna tint the windows eventually. It's just cops right now are super, like I said, super anal on stuff. So they're even giving people tickets for big exhaust tips. So, which I want to do an axle dump to like an 8-inch, but we'll do that later with the tint. It'll look 6 times better. But that's how the truck sits now. That's the update on it. The lift wasn't too bad. It's just time consuming. It's just a time consuming lift. I mean, the truck's 16 years old, right? There's not really much rust underneath it. It was just stuff that hasn't been touched in 16 years, a lot of it. So, you know, it takes time. The pitman arm, whew, that was fun to remove. I had to end up grinding a slit in it. My puller didn't work. I heated it, I hammered it. Like, everyone's like, put down your purse. And I'm like, well, I can, it's Gucci. I don't want to hit on the floor. Just kidding. I tried everything I could. I did have a proper puller come for it, like a Ford one, like a Matco one that everyone talks about. But by then I already grinded it off. Didn't wreck nothing down there with the death wheel, thank gosh. Brake lines and all that around there. But that worked out. We're happy with that. I did realize that there's one suspension part in the front that's gonna need changed now that I had my hands on everything, just touching everything. Would be the outer tie rod here. You can see it there, the boot's short and leaking, and like, you know, for me adjusting that over and over, like that thing just pivots. Not super easy, but it does pivot. It's getting wore out. Put a moo going on there. I don't know, be like 80 bucks Canadian. It'll only take me probably, what, 40 minutes changing out? Not even. Pop it off, pull it over, unscrew it, screw it back in, pop it back in. We'll measure so we know where we're at for, it doesn't really matter as long as it's centered in there. Because right now, that one actually is not as much threads as when the previous guy installed the other one. He didn't make it equal. So the one from the pitman arm to there has more threads, where the other one has less to make up. Anyway, I'll fix that when I put the new piece on there. So I'm waiting for the rear lift to still come in. I'm adding another 2 inches to the back. Plus, when that leaf comes in, I'll do that too. So I should be an inch higher in the back than the front. So I'll do that when I do the front bushings on my camber, so to fix that spring being sagged. Other than that, the truck's pretty much, I gotta do a video on changing the starter on it. That thing's starting to act up now. Works, but sometimes it don't. So I started with just dragging after it started. The gear would kind of drag a little bit. Now it's actually in the point where it clicks a few times. One of these days it's gonna leave me abandoned. I was gonna change it today, but after spending about 12 hours last weekend working on this lift, you know, and still kind of tweaking the front a little bit. I'm kind of beat from it, to be honest. I enjoy wrenching it all, but I don't want it to be my main job. I don't want it to be a point where it's a job and not just fun. So I'll change it. The truck I don't really drive daily. It's just a weekend warrior. I have a company truck I drive during the week most of the time. Then I have my race car too, which I still have to do a video on that. That's coming soon too. Got to do a little bit of repairs on that after getting it running. But all in all, the truck turned out great. It came out clean. The wheels, I get a lot of compliments on the TIS wheels. To be honest, I've always wanted a set of TIS wheels. It's just they're not cheap, right? Brand new 22x14s, they're probably $600 to $700 a wheel, maybe even $800. And then you know, the tires are actually like, they're the good Chinese brand, New Mutants. Everyone says if you want a good Chinese brand, go with New Mutants, as they balance well. And they're the AT, so they're quiet on the highway. And I kind of like not going to a 24 or 26 for the fact that I do have some sidewall. So if I do nick a curb, the wheel should not be touched. You'll see, actually, if you notice on my front wheel, there's like little chips, and that's not curbing. That's just because the 2 guys ago that bought this wheel brand new. So I bought it from a guy that bought it from someone else. He only had 12.5 wide tires on it on a 14 wide rim. And he had them in the back, obviously. I have 2 like that, and it's from rock chips, from gravel. So really, that's an easy touch up. I can just take touch up paint, probably touch it up, or I could even jack the truck up, spin the wheel, and put sandpaper on the edge, sand it down, and paint it if I wanted it smooth. But honestly, you don't really notice it with the TIS kind of embedded into it, right? So you know, I mean, they're used. What do you expect? They're not gonna be mint or brand new. A lot cheaper than buying brand new. I probably saved more than half buying used. And eventually I'll either sell them or trade them and get an actual 8x70, 8x170 bolt pattern to get rid of that 1.5 poke. And then also, I'm not a big fan of spacers or adapters yet. I mean, I Loctited them on, I torqued them properly and everything, but I just, you know, and a lot of guys get away with this. Some guys get away with like a 4-inch spacer. So, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how these play out. I still don't like spacers that much. And I did do them right, Loctite and whatnot, but I don't know. I'm sure I could probably sell these pretty quick. That's a pretty popular bolt pattern, 8x165. I did have to buy one center cap. I had to buy this one here actually. So what happened is when I unloaded the wheel from the back of my truck, after I bought them, you know, when you unload it, you kind of bounce it off the ground. Well, when I bounced it, whoever tightened this last time over tightened these 2 screws, and there's little plastic nubs behind that holds it in, and they broke. So it just popped right off. I could have fixed it, but I got a new one from Evil Bay. So it is what it is. It looks good. I have a spare one now. I can probably make it fix and make it work. What's nice about TIS too is you can actually pop this circle out right here, and you can get to your locking hubs, because Ford Life and vacuums and automated, you know, they don't like to work in the winter, but summer's fine because that seal swells up and we're hitting the heat, we're good, but cold they don't. So I can still run 4x. My angles on my draft shafts look good, so we're all good there. I ended up putting my 2-inch leveling. I had to put spacer on the shock, but she looks good. After about a couple hundred kilometers, I'll go underneath there and I'll put a wrench in all the bolts that I touched, just make sure everything's tight. As it is, after I did the lift kit, I forgot to tighten my sway bar, all 4 bolts. Ended up losing a nut, so you'll see I have a grade 8 in there now, but bolt instead of a metric nut that it would have been in there. Metric bolt, sorry. But anyway, it don't matter. Proper ones are on the bottom with the spacer and stuff. Everything's tight now, so yeah. And there's the pitman arm there. You can see how much of a drop that sucker is. But the angles look decent. It rides good. I just drove it, like I said, doing 100 kilometers an hour down the highway to get to this position. Drove it around town quite a bit already. The only thing I have is that rubbing. And I'm not a big fan of rubbing, but I don't want to hack up my wheel well, like I said. But yeah, guys, that's an update on the old Super Duty. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for it. Like I said, I'll have videos coming up changing, putting in the camber bushings, finishing the rear, lifting it up. I'll do a video of that together because it kind of goes together. And then I got a video changing the starter, and I have an AC sensor I have to change too. If you have issues with your AC compressor turning on and off, like for a second off, on for a second off, I found out what caused that. It's a sensor. I'll show you what it is, like a $40 sensor. We'll change that. You won't lose no freon. It's kind of like a valve stem kind of style, tight on, tight off. That's an easy video, so I'll do that when I do the starter, which will probably have to be this week because I don't want to be left stranded. As it is, hopefully it starts, you know what I mean? So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. You have any comments, anything you want to say about it or whatever, hit me up. I'll always message back. Hit me on the old TikTok, and obviously Instagram, Hollywoods_garage. TikTok is Hollywoods Garage. But thanks for hanging out, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.